So we've already decided here at Think Media that the A6400 is one of the best vlogging cameras of all time. But what are the best lenses for vlogging on Sony cameras, like the A6400 all the way back to the A5100? In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down my top 3 coming up. Hey, what's up? Sean here with Think Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. And if you're new here, welcome. And normally on this channel, we do a lot of YouTube growth tips and strategy videos, as well as tech videos, just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, we've been doing a ton of tests lately of the brand new Sony A6400, and we've come to the conclusion that this is actually one of the best all-around cameras, period, for creating content online, and that of course includes vlogging. With the inclusion of a flip-up selfie screen, it now allows you to adjust your shot composition and still get all of the features that this camera packs in, including 4K video at 30 frames, including slow motion video, including S-Log, and all kinds of other features that travel vloggers and vloggers may want. However, there is the lacking feature of IBIS, in-body image stabilization. And a lot of people have been like, how could you possibly vlog on a camera that doesn't have it? And our answer would be easy. People have been creating amazing vlogs and amazing YouTube videos for the past 5 to 10 years without IBIS. Sure, it's a nice feature, but it's not essential. What we would say though, is it should influence your lens choice for picking out the ideal vlogging setup. So let's dive into my first lens pick. If you're just getting started with the Sony A6400 or a similar Sony APS-C camera, we recommend the standard kit lens. The body for this camera comes in at $900, but for $100 more, you can get the included kit lens, and we think it's pretty amazing. The focal distance is 16 to 50, and so 16 is not super duper wide, but it's definitely wide enough to do some vlog style content. But it also has OSS, that's optical steady shot from Sony. So really it puts this camera on par with like a Canon M50 or a different brand that has optical image stabilization. So because you're lacking the IBIS, we think that OSS lenses are the ideal solution on a camera setup like this. Additionally, if you didn't have this lens already in your kit, you can usually pick one up for right around $150 or as cheap as $100, because a lot of times people will sell them secondhand or open box. And from a pure run and gun vlogging standpoint, the fact that the lens is small and very light, it makes this overall setup really nice. 16 millimeters for a wide shot when running around and vlogging, and also up to 50 millimeters to zoom in and get some shots of Disneyland or the theme park or where you're traveling, all in one setup like this. Now, of course, we can't make a video like this and not talk about the fact that this camera is a little bit limited for vlogging, because if you want to put an external microphone on the camera, it blocks the screen. There's some mount setups and there's some ways to get around that, and we'll link to some videos in the description below with different ways to still mount a mic on this. But actually for vlogging, I think you can just go with the onboard mic. For example, an alternative to this vlogging setup would be the Sony RX100 camera, much smaller point and shoot camera, but lots of people vlog with that every day with just the onboard audio. And so the bottom line is that right out of the box with the kit lens, this is a great setup for vlogging. So one thing is for sure, the kit lens for the Sony is legit. It's a great way to start. $100 more, it comes in your kit, and great for vlogging, but also just for creating YouTube content in general. And it's definitely the most competitive price-wise, and so worthwhile to have in your kit. However, if you were gonna invest in a second lens, this is the one I would recommend. And that is the Sony 10-18 f4. Now this would be the official vlogging lens for Sony APS-C cameras. The reason being is at 10 millimeters, you get a super wide shot that is really ideal for including yourself and others in the frame. And you also get the ability to zoom all the way into 18 for a little bit of versatility for creating other types of shots. The unfortunate thing with this lens though is that it comes in at $800. Now maybe you could get it open box or find it on eBay for around $600, but that's some significant coin just to get a super wide lens. I think it's worth it once you're ready for that upgrade, and it really gives you that kind of YouTube vibe that you might be looking for of an ultra wide shot while still having a great picture. And they also have included OSS, optical steady shot, in this lens as well. So when walking around, talking, walking. It is a great all-around vlogging lens. If it's me, I would do the majority of my vlogging with this lens, but I would also want the kit lens I mentioned first close at hand in case you do want to get some tighter shots. 18 being your tightest focal distance doesn't quite get that close-up filmmaking dynamic or that ability to zoom in when you're traveling on some kind of an image. So I'd recommend really both at this point, or possibly considering the other Sony kit lens, that's the 18 to 135. That is not a fixed aperture lens, but again, that on your camera also has that optical image stabilization that you want, so it takes away some of that jitter. You could still capture a shot at 18, a little bit tight, and a little bit tighter than the kit lens because that guy starts at 16 and it's gonna kind of be up in your grill, but up to 135, super nice, right? You're on a boat, you're on a cliff, you're on the top of a building, you're out and about, you're trying to get some dynamic shots. That might be another alternative to combo up with this wide lens so you have a full focal distance to play with in your video creation. Now, all the lenses that we've mentioned up to this point pretty much should have you covered with one exception and one weakness of the other lenses, and that's this: low light and blurry background depth of field. The solution? The Sigma 16mm 1.4. Now, while this isn't a perfect lens, it definitely fills out this kit when it comes to vlogging and even shooting an at-home YouTube setup. At 16mm, it's definitely wide enough to be able to vlog with, and at 1.4 aperture, you can get absolutely insane blurry background depth of field with this lens. Now, it doesn't have actually optical image stabilization, which I mentioned was important, so you wouldn't want to use it all the time. However, it really is a helpful lens to have in your kit because all of these other lenses, the kit lenses start at 3.5 aperture and the wide angle lens from Sony starts at f4. So if you find yourself traveling at night in the streets of a city, you find yourself at Christmas in low light with Christmas lights, or you find yourself at Disneyland during the parade, you might want a lens that's gonna give you insane kind of nighttime low light crispiness, and the Sigma can do that. You wouldn't use it all day, but I definitely personally love having this lens in my kit if the situation calls for it. And at right around $450 to be able to have performance in low light and also to do crispy landscape photography and creative wide angle photography and videography, it's reasonable to have, but definitely not necessary and maybe just something you'd want to upgrade to later. But I would love to hear from you. What is your favorite lens for vlogging with the Sony cameras? And if you could only pick one lens and take it with you, what would it be? For me, vlogging, it'd probably be the 10 to 18, but I wanna hear from you in the comment section, so let me know. And if you wanna check out any other videos in our A6400 series, we have a whole playlist out with some other tips and tricks to get max performance out of the camera. So check that out and we'll put it in the description as well.